Ever feel like you've got something amazing you want to say, but the English words just aren't quite there?
Yeah, or maybe just the thought of speaking English in some situations feels a bit, well, daunting.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving into today. We've looked at some really practical and honestly quite encouraging sources about becoming more fluent, more confident.
Things that can genuinely help, connect with people, maybe help with career stuff, or just make travel easier.
Right. So the mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the most effective, actionable strategies from everything we looked at.
Strategies to help you speak English with, well, real confidence.
Okay, so where do we start? It seems like active participation was a huge theme.
Absolutely. It really struck me how much the sources emphasize doing rather than just, passively learning rules.
Yeah, getting out there and using the language.
Exactly. In meaningful ways.
And that leads straight into the first big point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The foundational power of practice. Just consistent practice.
It sounds obvious maybe, but the sources had some smart takes on it.
Like the language exchange partners idea, I thought that was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not just getting help, you're giving it too.
Yeah.
And explaining your own language,
Yeah.
that must actually help your English. Right?
Oh, definitely. That's a fascinating angle. It forces you to think about language structure, even your own, which can weirdly shine a light on where your English understanding might be a bit fuzzy.
Huh, ever thought of it that way?
Yeah. And then there's something even simpler they mentioned. Daily self-talk.
Ah, yes. Just talking to yourself.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Describing what you're doing, narrating your day out loud.
Might feel a little weird at first, I guess.
Probably. But it's like zero pressure. A safe space to just practice forming sentences, thinking in English.
Yeah, I like that. Turning everyday stuff into mini practice sessions.
Precisely.
And then there's the tech side. Apps like Tandem HelloTalk. They came up too.
Right. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Connecting with native speakers all over the world, just on your phone.
So what happens on those apps typically? Is it just random chat?
Well, usually it's based on that exchange idea again. You find someone who wants to learn your language, and they help you with English. It
Okay.
could be texting, voice messages, even video calls sometimes.
So you get exposed to more natural, sort of conversational English.
Exactly that. Different accents, slang, everyday phrases, stuff you often miss in textbooks.
Right, okay. So practice is key. We're doing things, we're talking. But what about the building blocks? Vocabulary.
Crucial, yeah. The sources definitely highlighted that. Having more words just makes you feel more capable, more confident when you speak.
Makes sense. And the main way to build it seemed to be reading. Lots of reading.
Mm-hmm. Widely. Books, articles, blogs, whatever interests you.
It's like casting a wide net, isn't it? Catching words in different contexts.
Totally. And you see different styles, too.
Mhm.
Formal language, super casual blog posts. It all helps.
Yeah.
And our sources also brought up the word of the day thing. Simple, but apparently quite effective.
Right. Just one word a day feels manageable, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Sustainable.
Yeah, less overwhelming than trying to memorize long lists.
So how do you make that stick? Just knowing the definition isn't enough, is it?
No, absolutely not. The key is using it actively.
So try to slip it into conversation, even if you're just talking to yourself again.
Exactly. That active recall is what cements it in your brain. Oh, and flashcards too. Good old flashcard.
It can't be the classic, especially if you're a visual learner, I suppose.
Yeah, the physical act of making them and reviewing them seems to help create stronger connections for some people.
Okay, so practice vocabulary. Now let's tackle the big one, the fear. The fear of making mistakes.
Ah, yes, the elephant in the language learning room.
Everyone feels it, right? But the sources were really encouraging about this.
They were basically saying mistakes aren't just normal, they're like essential. You need them to learn.
That's such a mental shift, though, because that fear can really hold you back.
It really can. One idea I liked was just laugh it off.
Yeah, don't take it so seriously.
Exactly. A little slip up, a funny pronunciation.
Yeah.
Just chuckle and move on. It takes the pressure right off.
That lightens the mood, definitely. Helps you be more willing to just try, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then there was the suggestion to keep a mistake journal.
Ooh, interesting. Not just forgetting about them, but tracking them.
Yeah. Not to feel bad, but to spot patterns. Maybe you always mix up certain prepositions or a particular tense.
Ah, I see. So you turn the errors into data, almost.
Mhm.
Use them to figure out what to work on.
Precisely. Reframing stumbles as, learning opportunities.
Right, that's powerful. Now, another strategy that sounded, frankly, quite enjoyable was using media.
Right. Learning while being entertained, that's always a win.
So watching English movies, TV shows, but not just passively watching.
No, the key was focusing on the dialogue, really listening, and then
Right, making
mimicking the actors.
their accents, their intonation.
Yeah, it might feel a bit silly at first,
I can imagine.
but it's apparently super effective for training your ear and your mouth for the sounds and rhythms of Welsh.
What kind of challenges might pop up there?
Well, some sounds might be really hard to copy initially, or the speed, the rhythm might feel totally unnatural.
So patience is key.
Definitely. And maybe focus on short lines or scenes to begin with. Don't try to mimic a whole monologue right away.
Good tip. And podcasts, audiobooks, similar benefits.
Very similar. Great for tuning your ear to pronunciation, understanding different speaking styles, and improving overall comprehension. Plus, you can listen anywhere.
Right. Fit it into your commute while doing chores.
Yeah.
Makes learning feel less like a separate task.
Exactly. Integrated learning.
Okay, one last major area. Community. Speaking clubs came up.
Yeah, finding a supportive environment to actually use your English.
They suggested looking for local meetups, online platforms too. What's the magic ingredient there? Why are they so helpful?
I think it's the safety net aspect. You're with other learners. Everyone's in the same boat, basically.
Less pressure than, say, a formal presentation or something.
Way less pressure. It's about getting comfortable, just sharing ideas, trying things out, without that intense fear of being judged.
And that regular interaction, sharing experiences,
Yeah.
must be motivating too.
Hugely motivating. It builds confidence in a different way. That's social confidence.
Finding your voice within a community.
Mm.
Like that. Okay, let's do a quick recap then. The big strategies we pulled out.
Okay, so number one, consistent practice is fundamental. Language exchanges, self-talk, apps, just doing it.
Right. Then actively building your vocabulary, reading widely, word of the day, flashcards.
Yep. Third, and this is huge, embracing mistakes. Laugh them off. Learn from them. Don't fear them.
Then using media, movies, TV, podcasts, but actively. Mimicking, focusing on dialogue.
And finally, finding community through speaking clubs, online or offline, for that supportive practice space.
It really boils down to consistent effort and just engaging with English in lots of different ways, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And remembering, like our sources stressed, it's a journey. It takes time.
It's not an overnight thing. Gradual progress is the name of the game.
Persistent effort over time. That's what makes the difference.
Exactly. Small steps add up.
Yeah.
So, thinking about all this, here's a final thought for everyone listening. Considering these different approaches we've discussed, the self-talk, the apps, the media, the clubs, which one, or maybe two of those, feels like the most natural fit for you right now, the most appealing place to start? And maybe, how could you take just one tiny step to try and weave that into your routine this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, today we're going to try and pull back the curtain on that a bit. Our goal in this deep dive is really to efficiently get to the heart of what makes storytelling so captivating.
Exactly. And we've been digging into this video, mastering storytelling techniques in English, unlock your creative potential. It's packed with insights.
Right.
So think of this as like your fast track to understanding those core principles that really power great narratives.
Perfect. So whether you're maybe thinking about writing something yourself or you just love a good story, we want to unpack what makes them work.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The foundation seems to be the structure, right? The video really highlighted that every strong story needs a kind of backbone.
Definitely. I mentioned a couple of key frameworks. There's Freytag's pyramid.
Oh, yeah, I remember that from school, sort of.
Yeah, it breaks things down into, well, 5 stages. You've got the exposition setting things up, characters, world. Then the rising action, where things start getting tense.
Okay.
Then the climax, the big peak moment, falling action right after that, and then the resolution, how it all wraps up.
And the other one was the 3-act structure. That feels, I don't know, simpler.
It is, yeah. It's kind of a more condensed version. Yeah. Basically, Act 1 is the setup, meet the hero, see their world. Act 2 is the confrontation obstacles, the main conflict really gets going.
Right.
And Act 3 is the resolution, how it all gets sorted out, for better or worse.
So they both provide that kind of logical flow then. Keep you hooked.
Exactly. They give you that roadmap. I mean, the best stories might take some weird turns, but you generally feel that underlying structure, It taps into how we like things to progress.
Makes sense. Like building blocks. So, okay, framework's in place. What really grabs us emotionally? The video talked a lot about characters.
Oh, absolutely. Characters are, well, they're everything, aren't they? They're the heart. The video stressed giving them depth, and often that comes through flaws.
Flaws, right? Not perfect heroes.
Exactly. Those imperfections, they make them relatable, they make them feel human, even if they're, wizards or aliens or whatever. We see ourselves in their struggles.
Yeah, totally. It's why we root for them. And the video also mentioned clear goals.
Super important. What drives them? What do they actually want? That's their engine pushing the story forward.
Okay.
And maybe the most revealing thing, conflict. The video pointed out how facing problems, being under pressure, that's when you see a character's true colors, their strength, their weaknesses, how they react.
Yeah, those impossible choices.
Yeah.
That's when you really learn who someone is. The video brought up Harry Potter, Elizabeth Bennet.
Great examples. Both flawed, right?
Ah.
Harry's kind of impulsive, carries this huge weight. Elizabeth, well, she's got that initial pride, the prejudice, but those flaws make them real. We see them wrestle with this stuff, so their growth feels like earned. Think about the characters you love, probably not the perfect ones, right?
Probably not. Okay, so structure, compelling characters. Where next?
Setting the scene. The video said it's more than just like wallpaper.
Oh, way more. A good setting pulls you right into the world. The video talked about using sensory details.
Sight, sound, smell, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Don't just say a forest. Describe the, damp earth smell, the way the light filters through, maybe the sound of twigs snapping. It makes it feel real, tangible.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I remember reading this description of a market once, and it wasn't just the colors, it was the noise, the smell of spices. I felt like I was there.
That's it. That's an effective scene setting. And the video also noted that setting can be dynamic. It can actually affect the plot.
Well, think about a storm trapping people together. That forces interactions, maybe raises tension, or a really bleak, rundown city might mirror how the main character feels inside. It's not just where, it's part of what's happening.
Okay, I see. Like in Harry Potter with Hogwarts. The video mentioned that.
Yeah, Hogwarts is a fantastic example.
It feels like a character itself, almost.
Yeah.
All the secret passages, the moving stairs, it affects everything they do.
Precisely. Rowling built this incredibly detailed, consistent world. It felt so real, so immersive. It really makes you think, how important was the place in the stories that really stuck with you?
That's a good question. Okay, so we're immersed. How do they keep us hooked, keep us turning the page? The video moved on to tension and pacing.
Yeah, crucial stuff. Tension's what keeps you invested, right? Wondering what's next. And pacing is how the story controls that feeling. The video mentioned varying sentence length, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, how does that work?
Well, short, punchy sentences can speed things up, make it feel urgent, exciting, good for action scenes.
Right, quick cuts almost.
Yeah. And then longer, maybe more complex sentences can slow things down, build suspense, create atmosphere.
That makes total sense. The rhythm of the words matching the feeling.
Exactly. And of course, the classic technique, cliffhangers.
Yes. Can't beat a good cliffhanger.
Nope. Especially at the end of chapters, just that little hook makes you need to know what happens. The video mentioned thrillers like Gone Girl as being masters of pacing.
Oh, yeah, that book. It was relentless. You never felt like you could relax, always felt like something else was coming.
That's skillful tension building right there. Controlling the information, using those hooks, keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Definitely. Okay, so the last piece the video covered was dialogue. Giving characters their voice.
And dialogue does so much more than just convey information. It shows personality, relationships, what people really mean underneath. It moves the plot.
So how do you make it good?
Well, one tip the video gave was just to listen. Listen to how real people talk. It's often messy, fragmented, people interrupt. It's not always perfect sentences.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, real conversations aren't like movie scripts usually.
Right. Capturing some of that naturalness makes characters feel much more authentic. And the video also talked about subtext.
What's not being said.
Exactly. Sometimes the tension or the meaning is in the silences or what's hinted at but never spoken aloud. That adds layers.
Okay.
And a big warning, avoid info dumps in dialogue. When characters suddenly start explaining backstory that everyone in the room should already know?
Yes. Pulls you right out of it. It feels like they're talking to the audience, not each other.
Precisely. Keep it natural. The
Yeah.
video used Sherlock Holmes as an example of understated dialogue.
How so?
Well, Holmes often says very little, but his words are so precise, so observant. He doesn't spell everything out. His dialogue hints at his incredible mind, lets you piece things together. It adds intrigue.
I see. It makes him seem even smarter because he doesn't need to boast.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so, wow. To wrap it all up then, We've looked at these 5 key techniques from the video. Structure as the foundation,
The roadmap.
compelling characters with relatable flaws as the heart,
The emotional connection.
vivid setting to immerse us,
Using those senses.
building tension and controlling pacing to keep us hooked,
Edge of your seat stuff.
and finally, authentic dialogue that reveals character and moves the story.
That's a pretty good summary. And really, understanding these tools, even just a little, can help you connect with an audience so much better, whether you're writing a novel or just, telling a story to a friend.
Yeah, it really demystifies it a bit. It's amazing how these elements work together.
Absolutely. And hopefully this gives everyone listening a new way to maybe appreciate the stories they love or even think about telling their own.
Definitely. So on that note, here's something to chew on. Think about the stories that have really, really stayed with you. Which one of these techniques, structure, character, setting, tension, dialogue, feels like the most powerful element in those specific stories for you? And how might knowing this change how you read or watch or maybe even write stories yourself?
Titled, Mastering Interpersonal Communication Skills.
Right, communication. It's something we all do, but this script really breaks down how to do it better.
Exactly. It touches on, how we connect or sometimes don't connect.
It's a skill, isn't it? The video treats it like one, something you can actually practice and improve. Its approach seems pretty straightforward, which is helpful.
Yeah, and it kicks off with a great question, something like, ever felt that awkward disconnect in a conversation? Or seen people who just, click with others instantly?
And I wondered how they do that.
Right. So that's what we're getting into today. Our mission basically is to pull out the key takeaways, the really practical stuff from this video script to help us all become, better communicators.
Okay, sounds good. So where does the video start defining it?
Yep, exactly. Defining interpersonal communication. And the first big point is, it's way more than just talking.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. It's not just the words.
Not at all. The video kind of breaks it down into 3 main chunks. First, there's the verbal stuff, the actual words we use.
Okay, standard.
Then the nonverbal, body language, facial expressions, all that.
The unspoken stuff. Always important.
And third, something maybe we don't always think about enough.
Yeah.
Listening skills, like really listening and understanding.
Active listening, yeah. Crucial. But often overlooked, I agree.
What really jumped out at me, though, was the weight the video puts on the nonverbal side. It throws out this statistic, like over 70% of communication is nonverbal.
Wow, over 70%. That's huge.
Isn't it? It means how you stand, your expression, that stuff can totally overpower your actual words.
Yeah.
Or, reinforce them.
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? We spend so much time choosing the right words, but maybe our posture is saying something completely different.
Are we even aware of it most of the time? Probably not consciously.
Probably not. Okay, so it defines communication, emphasizes nonverbals. Where does it go next? Why does this stuff matter so much?
Right, the why. The video gives 3 big reasons. The first one is pretty intuitive. Building stronger relationships.
Makes sense. Good communication feels like the bedrock of, any good relationship, personal or professional. It builds trust, right?
Exactly. Trust, closeness, feeling heard and understood. The video frames it as essential for that mutual respect and empathy.
Okay, solid first point. What's the second reason?
Enhancing professional opportunities. This one definitely hit home for me. In work environments today, being able to collaborate, get your ideas across clearly, understand others, it's vital.
Oh, absolutely. Think about teamwork, clients, networking. The video mentions successful professionals often excel here, right?
Yeah, it touches on that. It suggests it's not just a nice-to-have skill anymore. It's pretty critical for moving forward in your career. Being able to really connect makes a difference.
Definitely. Okay, so relationships, career, and what's the third one?
Boosting confidence. This felt quite personal, I think. The idea is, as you get better at communicating, you naturally feel less anxious, more comfortable in social settings.
Ah, that's interesting. Like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly. You feel more skilled, so you engage more, you have better interactions, which builds more confidence. It's about feeling equipped, I guess.
Makes sense. Feeling like you can handle those social interactions. Okay, so we know what it is, why it's important. Does the video talk about the struggles, the common problems people face?
It does. It gets into the challenges. First one up, fear of judgment. That feeling of, oh God, what will they think if I say this?
That hesitation. I think everyone feels that sometimes. It can really shut down communication.
Totally. And the video solution is kind of interesting. It suggests focusing on active listening first.
How does that help with fear of judgment.
Well, the idea is if you're really concentrating on understanding the other person, you're less focused on yourself and your own anxieties. It shifts the spotlight outwards.
Okay, I see. Less self-consciousness. That's clever. What's the next challenge?
Misinterpretation happens all the time, right? You say one thing, they hear something completely different.
Oh, yeah. The classic communication breakdown. So many reasons for it, too. Different backgrounds, assumptions.
Exactly. And the fix the video suggests is pretty direct.
Yeah.
Ask clarifying questions. Don't assume understanding.
Just check in. So what I'm hearing is, or did you mean, simple but effective.
Yeah. Proactive checking. And the third challenge it mentions is, well, just a lack of engagement. You know those conversations that just fizzle out?
Ugh, yes, the conversational dead ends, where you're trying to keep it going but getting one-word answers.
Exactly that. So the tip there is to use open-ended questions.
Ah, the what, how, why questions. Things that need more than a yes or no.
Right, to encourage the other person to actually share more, to elaborate.
Good tip. Keeps the ball rolling.
Did it mention practice?
It did, yeah. It even suggested role-playing, which sounds a bit formal, but maybe helpful.
Could be a safe space to try things out without real-world pressure, build up some confidence with these techniques.
Makes sense. So after the challenges, it moves into really practical, actionable tips, the how-to part. Okay, let's hear them. What are the top tips?
First one, maintain eye contact. Seems basic, but they stress it shows confidence and, crucially, that you're actually interested.
Right. It signals engagement, that you're
Yeah.
present in the conversation, builds that connection.
Second tip, be mindful of your body language. Link back to that nonverbal stuff. Open gestures, relaxed posture. It makes you seem more approachable.
Yeah, less closed off, like avoiding crossed arms, maybe leaning in slightly, signals you're receptive.
Exactly. Third tip, practice empathy. Really try to see things from their perspective. Put yourself in their shoes, you know.
Empathy. That feels fundamental. Understanding the feeling behind the words. It changes how you respond, doesn't it? Makes you more supportive.
Definitely. Okay, fourth tip. Ask questions actively. Not just open-ended ones, but showing genuine curiosity, like you actually want to know their thoughts and feelings.
So it's about demonstrating real interest, not just waiting for your turn to talk. It makes the other person feel valued.
Yeah, it turns it into a real exchange. And the fifth, the final tip is reflect back what you hear.
Paraphrasing, summarizing.
Yeah, like saying, okay, so if I understand correctly, you're saying it confirms you got it right and builds rapport, shows you were really listening.
That's a powerful one. Clears up misunderstandings before they start and shows you're making an effort. Okay, so those are the 5 main tips.
Yep. Eye contact, body language, empathy, active questions, and reflecting back. Pretty solid advice, I thought.
Very practical, easy to grasp, even if they take practice.
So wrapping up this deep dive on the Mastering Interpersonal Communication Skills video,
Yeah.
the big takeaway seems to be that it's not just about talking at people.
No, it's about truly connecting. It's a whole package deal, listening, observing, understanding, expressing clearly.
Right. And thinking back to those people who connect so effortlessly, maybe it's because they're naturally doing a lot of this stuff, the listening, the nonverbals, the empathy.
Yeah, they might have an intuitive grasp, but the video argues these are skills anyone can learn and, get better at with practice.
Definitely. So here's maybe a final thought for everyone listening, drawing from all this. Considering everything, the body language, the act of listening, asking better questions, empathy, all of it.
Yeah.
What's maybe one specific thing, just one from today's discussion about your own communication style that you could consciously try out, maybe experiment with in your very next conversation.
Ooh, interesting challenge. Just pick one thing and see what happens.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah.
See if it makes a difference.